Hi guys, today I'm really excited to tell you a story. A story about how programming languages use our daily work and daily routine into their own, insert it into their own working. Like consider object-oriented programming language, right? In object-oriented programming language, objects were taken from daily life and they were implemented in their own way in programs. Now there is a concept of template driven and reactive forms. We will go into that and my story, how I came across them and how I got to use it. So let's get into it right now. Before I begin to show you code, I really want to talk about what it means to be a reactive form or template driven form. So let's get started. I started building forms in template driven form when I started my job. Because I come from a background of JavaScript and jQuery, we understood the things and concepts like clicks, blur, when the text box is left by user, when the text box focus comes on a text box, and what happens if the text is changed, everything like that. It was interesting and it was fast to do in that way. These things, what click and mouse leave and blur and these kind of things were called as events. Things happened on the screen and our code used to run on that. We had our template written and then we used to find all these events in our code. Meanwhile, in Angular, I was introduced to RxJS. It was crazy. It was mostly based on events like from subjects and observables. We were finding things which other subscribers like child component or even different components used to subscribe it. Then there was concept of child components finding events which parent can listen to and react accordingly. It was an introduction, my introduction to reaction based things. It was something similar to events, but it was something which was happening completely in code. What is reactive programming? Reactive programming is something which is taken from real world where there is an event or there is a change in stream of data and there is a piece of code which should run after that. So let's take a look into the code where I will start with a template driven programming and then go into reactive programming. Also along with that, I will guide you what I am doing and what can be done and what is the story behind what I am doing there. So let's start. Now we have a program here where I have already written template driven and reactive driven components and I have added router. Let's go to template component. I have used Bootstrap for a little bit of UI in that. The important thing for template driven program is ng model and ng model change. These two things. Also along with that is disable button. Just keep an eye on these three things. Template driven programs, right? ng model is used to do two-way binding. It's used to send information from a template component to TS file. That's why it is kind of called template driven forms, where information, whatever you are going to render, whatever processing you have to do is written in template and then that is bounded to your TS file. You have to think from template point of view and then go to TS file. Let's see here, we have done ng model and ng change. In the template file, as you will see, on initialization I set filtered items as all of the items. So the use case here is whenever we are typing something in search, items should be filtered in the list. So the list is bounded with, our list is bounded with filtered items. As you can see, this one ng4, and filtered items initially have to be set with search all the items which is to be searched. Now template driven model, second thing which I am using is ng model change. As I was explaining, there are events which are to be fired from template. In this case, the text change event is fired, where text change event we are encapsulating with ng model from Angular. So whenever ng model is changed, whenever the value is changed, this search should be fired. And in this one we just wrote a small piece of code which goes into all search items, filters out data based on the condition I have provided in the arrow function. The condition is simple. If for each item it iterates like for loop, in each item its name it converts into lowercase and then it checks that whatever text we have written is contained in that or not. So that is done. We'll go to button text again. So let's see the program. Now if I write cabinet, so you can see even my C is small, that's why we used two lowercase. then cabinet is shown. If we have CA, camera and cabinet is shown. We can even have ME, and all the places where ME are present will be, all the products where ME is present will be shown. Alright, so that is done. Now consider you want to have, right now I have created a dummy submit button which does nothing, but consider you have selected some of the items in product and then you want to submit some items, right? We have generally in form you will have a submit button which basically ends your workflow. You entered some information, we got some information from user, and then you want to go to next page or submit it to browser or your server. So in that, generally what we use is the form is valid or not. In our case, I have used a dummy scenario where if you have entered some text, then the form is valid, otherwise form is invalid. For that, I had to maintain a separate variable here where this variable I am setting it true initially, that the text which we have entered is blank, so no such text is present, and when any search text is changed, I have to be careful to change this value. Again, like you consider there are a lot of events and a lot of form items. In each of them you have to maintain the integrity, I would say the validity of form. So that's one other thing which you have to maintain in template driven programming. I also was comfortable using template driven programming because it is so much similar to what we do in JavaScript and jQuery. But looking at this, I think you're getting the point. Now, I came across reactive forms. I was trying to avoid that. This is my comfort zone. I understand here, even if it is a little bit more work, I am comfortable with that. But as I was going through Angular Material website and seeing its component, I was totally in awe. Like how beautiful their buttons are. If you click, there is this ripple effect, and you have a lot of things like date picker and stuff. So if in these examples what they have given, they are using reactive programming. Now because of that, I had to learn in a hard way that how do we work with reactive programming. But once I learned it, it became so simple. Let's see how reactive programs are done. So the HTML looks almost similar. We just have a new thing called as form, and in form we can have form group, or even you can ignore form and you can go with form control only. But I just took form group so that it becomes more easier to understand. So we have a form group with one item only right now, and that's why we use form control name. Now to show the code here, form is search form which we use on the UI is a kind of form group, and then it contains search. Search is a form item. So basically if you have multiple form items, you will create a group out of that and then create individual form items. It can be checkboxes, it can be text boxes, it can be date picker and stuff, anything. You can have comma separated different values inside this. Now in code, that's all you have to write basically. This line and this line, that's it. Apart from that, continuing the reactive item out of it, my filtered items is now an observable which is bounded through async pipe. Now async pipe you can see in obviously one of my videos which I have posted how async pipe works, but in very short term, whatever search item list will be present in observable will be shown in UI. As it keeps on changing, UI will keep on updating. There is not like it's not directly bounded with a variable, a list item. It is bounded to an observable. Whenever data changes in observable, UI updates automatically. It does its own component would do its own subscription and unsubscription internally. So anyways, continuing. Now this might look a little bit scary, but this is the only piece of code I have to write. I don't have to maintain any variable. So you can see there is just one variable search form, another variable filter items. That's it, done. Now what I wanted to do there with ng model change was that whenever value changes, I want to trigger a new thing in UI. In here I did kind of same thing. So in search form I went to controls. It contains all the items which you have added in this list. So right now we have only search. If you think about if you have added more items in this object, you can write the name here. So I just write controls, then search, and inside that there is automatically a value present, value changes. This value changes provides an observable to work with. Reactive programming is completely based on observables. So this observable will fire whenever you change text. The idea here is whenever text is changed, whenever text is changed, we want to have a different set of filtered items. So whenever text is changing, first of all, let's go with line number 25. Whenever the value is changing, I am creating a map. Map is used to have a different stream of data in, and it outputs a different stream of data. So a different type of data can come in, like numbers, and you can output a stream of strings. So in this case, we have an input stream of string, like whenever you are typing text, so t, then te, then tex, then text, all these are the stream of data coming in. The output should be the array of search items which matches the value. So that's why we are using map. The value which was sent from text box, if there is any text in value, if the value is basically, this is like truthy, if there is something present in the string, then I am filtering the search items. So search item was a complete list, I am filtering in that. Kind of same logic which we had in template driven, and that's it. And if there is no value, if there is no value, then it will come out of this if loop and give all the search items. To start with, we have to write starts with, so that when the program launches, whenever ng-init is called, at least this guy map should be called once. So we say starts with blank item, so that it will fire this map code initially. Now let's see the code in action. So let's go to reactive here, and as you can see, as we type in trimmer and camera, it works same as that guy. Now there is one more thing which I want to show. Right now the submit button is disabled. This is one of the major power of reactive form controls. I just wrote one word in the input box saying that this is required, and then I wrote another thing here in submit button where I'm saying if search form is not valid, disable it. This required thing which you wrote in template, in the HTML part of it, is taken up by Angular, and it understands that some text is required in this input box. Then only it will fire the disabled, basically then only it will make the form valid, otherwise it will keep the form invalid. There are a lot of things to work with reactive forms. You can have custom validators also written, like you want text to be only input with maybe one character, one uppercase, like a password verification. In that case you can write your own password validator. In those cases also, when you wrote validators, these values, this disabled button will become enabled and disabled. The form will set itself to valid and invalid based on those valid. This brings us to the conclusion. If you have any more questions, just put that in comment. I will try to answer them as I can. And also the code for what you have seen right now is present on my GitHub link. That the link is in description. I hope you had a nice day, and just press that like button if you enjoyed the video and had something to learn from it. Share it with your friends so that they can too learn from it, and I can reach more people and help them out. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye.